My name is Peggy Lopez, and I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. I grew up in the South Valley. Loved growing up in the valley. It's a very friendly community, and that's what I especially loved about it, and sometimes miss about it. Lenten meal was important to us because it was about family and community rituals and traditions, and it brings you closer together. There's this connectivity. During Lent, growing up as a Catholic, we were not to eat any meat on Friday, so it was fish or it was beans or chili. We then made it a special meal where it was always the beans with spinach, which is the quelites. We'd have the red chili and the torta. My mother would make a big pot of sweet rice and bread pudding, so there was never any meat in the meal. And that's what's so funny about this, because we just always did it, but Grandma never really told us the significance other than we were Catholic, because we were Catholic and you fast, and it's the suffering that Jesus, dying on the cross. We too had to make some sacrifices. On Good Friday, the sacrifice was to not eat meat. My mother was an angel. She was very happy, very loving, and it was a very simple life for her. She loved her family. She loved her children. Every grandchild and every child thought they were her favorite. She never let you know that there was one favorite over another. She was very well liked, and she loved people. With that, I'd see that, and I think I learned how important being kind to people is, regardless of who you are, where you grew up, or what you do. Cooking this meal was a special meal for me because it was my time with my mother. When my mother passed away, I was now able to make it. I was making it on my own. And I went to read the recipe that she wrote, and I kind of laugh with her exclamation points and some of the ways that she'd write the recipe. She would then say, "If you have any questions, call me." And then it says, "Excuse my writing, Mom." And so sometimes I'd have questions, but I couldn't call her because she wasn't here to call. Not too big. Okay. You want little round ones like this. Before I had children, I wanted to learn how to make the meal because no one can make food as good as your mother can. I said to her, how can I ever learn how to make this meal if you have it all made before I get here? And so each time after I'd get out of work, she'd make everything but one of the dishes. She'd then show me each piece of that particular dish, whether it was the quelites or the torta, as to which one I needed to learn next. This process that is just special. I don't think I could ever stop making a Lenten meal on Good Friday. It's special. It is fresh because usually it's dry and it cracks open. When I thought that it was very special was when my daughter Gabrielle, in college, decided to make the Lenten meal. And that was a big deal because I knew then that it had an importance and a significance to her. For me to get it from my mother, and then she is now doing what I've done, it's important to them as well. She's also made it once or twice before, but calling to ask a question about the chili. It was always about the chili. How do I rinse the chili? I think there was a time where she said the chili didn't come out very good. It tasted funny, and so we talked about it, and it was because she didn't rinse the chili as good as she should have rinsed the chili. And there are these little things that you wouldn't think are important, but they are. Do you think that as many times as I've done this recipe, I always have to read it? I never just remember the recipe. Or I don't know, maybe it's just because I want to look at her writing each time and think about her. Because when I do those Fridays, I'm here by myself and I want to be by myself. And it's me and my mother. I'm not really by myself. And I think that's my connection. I'm reading this with her. And it's her writing and it's her by me cooking. But it still doesn't come out just like hers.